Civil War.
Civil War, yes. And
there's a soldier outfit right
oh
there.
yes, oh yes.
It says he was under General Sherman.
Yes, under General Sherman.
James McCann, born 1826 in Ireland. James McCann's wife, Mary O'Connor, born in England. The Irish potato famine was 1848. Okay. James and Mary O'Connor were married on May 14th, 1854 in Peoria, Illinois, St. Mary's Church, Catholic Church. They had 12 children. The oldest was Jane. They also had a daughter who became a Catholic nun. The youngest was William P. McCann. James McCann fought in the Civil War in 1862 to 1865 for the North. He worked under General Sherman. Certificate of service for the military when James McCann served for the North. Says here that James McCann was a private in Company K. He later moved up in rank, but it says here he started out as a private. He enlisted as a soldier when he was 34 years old. It says here he had blue eyes, brown hair, dark complexion, 5 feet 5.5 inches in height. Occupation, a farmer. Okay, James McCann's parents, his father, once again, was Thomas McCann, and his mother, it says here, Jane Dowell. I think that's how you say it. D-O-W-D-A-L-L. That's what it says here. It says here, James McCann, my great-grandfather, and Mary O'Connor, his wife, my great-grandmother, had 12 children. You can see 12 children right there. The first one was Jane. She was born in the city of Mineral Point in Wisconsin. The next one, Michael, born in Waseca, Wisconsin. All the rest were born in Waseca, Wisconsin. They had Margaret, next one, Marianne, Evelyn, Rosa, also called Rose, John, Henry, James, Bridget, Thomas, Teresa, and the youngest is William Patrick McCann. You're probably wondering who's right next to Elizabeth and Will McCann. To the right of Will McCann is the famous Ralph Jack McCann and the family. Ralph Jack McCann, when he was younger, was offered $100 for a sparring match with the world-famous boxer Jack Dempsey. Jack McCann knocked him out. They gave him his $100 and told him, be quiet, don't tell anybody, and get out of town. It's a picture of Mary, John, and Evelyn McCann, taken in 1924. This is a picture of John Henry McCann, 1924. Picture of James and Eva McCann with Florin and Mary.
William P. McCann.
He was born in March 10th,
March,
1876.
born in March 10, 1876.
Who's this?
This is Elizabeth McCann.
Right, that's you, Grandma.
My grandfather, William Patrick McCann, he was born March 10th, 1876, died October 17th, 1963. He was 87 years old. You see the math right there. So my grandfather, William McCann, was 87. His wife, Elizabeth Forster McCann, was born on December 11th, 1888, and died October 8th, 1989. She lived to be over 100 years old. Yeah. And you can see the different ones. You have Mary. They had, Mary was the oldest. And then the next one would be Paul. And then Evelyn, Alice, Beatrice. Doesn't show here. Timothy was a little baby. He died. He was born 1929. That was July 24th, 1929, and died November 15th, 1929. And Grandma McCann has a story about him that he has a face like an angel.
Yes.
I remarried October 16th, 1918.
That's it. October 16, 19, we were married. Yes.
Elizabeth Forster McCann was born on Tuesday, December the 11th, 1888. The year's top story was the Great Blizzard of 1888 along the Atlantic seaboard states. The population of the USA in 1888 was roughly 60 million. The population of the USA in 1988, 100 years later, was roughly 248 million. And the president at the time of Elizabeth's birthday was Grover Cleveland. Elizabeth McCann's brothers and sisters are as follows: Frank, who lived to be 13 years old; Mary, who lived to be 85 years old; Joseph, who lived to be 92 years old; Anna, who lived to be 85 years old; Kate, who lived to be 97 years old; Barbara, who lived to be 27 years old; Ida, who lived to be 89 years old; Peter, who lived to be 70 years old; Florence, half-sister, is still living. No. The order of birth for the children of Martin Forster are as follows: Frank, Mary, Joseph, Anna, Elizabeth, Kate, Barbara, Anton, which is Tony, Ida, Peter, and Florence. Elizabeth comes from a family of 11 children. She has one half-sister. Elizabeth's father's remarried after the death of the first wife. Does anybody know Elizabeth's stepmother's first name and maiden last name? Frank never married. Mary married.
The dad had a son, and the mother or someone, they had a daughter. So the first time they met, so the father and mother says, you might just as well get married here while we're here and saves the trip, don't have to come here again. Just met them for the first time, didn't know each other.
They got married?
A couple of them, yeah. And then the man says, I'll pick you up next spring. And the girl says, oh, such a tight one, he wouldn't even winter me.
Elizabeth comes from a family of 11 children. She has one half-sister. Elizabeth's father's remarried after the death of the first wife. Does anybody know Elizabeth's stepmother's first name and maiden last name? Frank never married. Mary married August Emil Johnston. Joseph married Sophia, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Elizabeth McCann's father is Martin Forster. Martin's father and mother are Frank Forster and Barbara. Elizabeth's mother is Margaret Adams Forster. Margaret's father and mother are Bernard Adams and Susanna Zemet. It says here about James McCann and his wife Mary O'Connor. Like I mentioned before, both of them died in Wisconsin. It says here, James McCann is buried October 8th in 1908. Waseca County is Crawford in Wisconsin. And it's Sacred Heart Cemetery. That's where James McCann is buried, in Waseca, Wisconsin, Sacred Heart Cemetery. His wife, who died in 1919, Mary O'Connor, also buried in Waseca, Wisconsin, at the Sacred Heart Cemetery. Elizabeth's husband, William P. McCann, came from a large family of 12 children. William was the youngest in his family. Will's brothers and sisters are as follows. Elizabeth McCann was born on December the 11th, 1888. She died on October 8th, 1989 in Minneapolis. She lived to be 100 years and 301 days young.